Friends, hello everyone. We commence another analysis of the game from KSI. Today we will analyze the game of our well-known acquaintance Ilya. Now Ilya will introduce himself. I will kindly ask you to like, subscribe and ask questions in the comment section below this video. All right, let's get started. Ilya, could you please provide some information about yourself?
Yes, hi everyone, I'm Ilya. We own a small studio called Bondigame. Nice to meet you all. We are engaged in game development here and a little bit of application. We have a lot of people in the team. We have a small team. Here and today I came for the analysis of the game blog Evo. I am ready to start. This is the Clown Painter Evo 2. The clown is extremely similar, but not completely identical. I am hopeful that I will be able to identify and exploit any weaknesses in the game, allowing me to attempt it once more when the clock strikes midnight.
Just a query, where did you make your purchase previously? Kindly share your past experience. And we will look at the game of competitors that you sent and continue.
Observing, I was making purchases on Google Ads for Brazil and India, as it is the most cost-effective means of obtaining traffic, blood, and nonsense, in order to see at least some metrics, and in order to releasing a new update, well, to be able to see if the update produces any results. Here, there is no specific targeted direct procurement. It was all in the negative, just to observe family conflicts. So I exclusively purchased Google Ads, solely for text, devoid of creatives, opting for the most straightforward choice.
And what were the metrics?
When buying, metrics for retention.
Yes. Duration of play, retention, affirmative.
As it turns out, the playtime is about 12.5 minutes, and the retention rate is around 28% from the first day of its release. Well, and accordingly on the 7th day, there is very little, approximately 3% is obtained.
Well, 3% is not a disaster for the 7th day for Keeper Kazovka.
In regards to procurement, it is an absolute disaster that has far-reaching negative implications. And prior to proceeding to the video, kindly inform me about the configuration of your advertising on a per-user session basis, if you may. How many ad impressions are there? And these are intercoms, airports. How did you set it up?
Yes, currently I am able to search for a prolonged period of time.
While Ilya is watching, let's see what's happening with the competitors.
And here's the game of competitors. The source of their traffic is primarily from the United States, but it is diluted with a separate version tailored specifically for the region. In some other place, there will be the countries of the Philippines and Thailand. And at this moment, we are going to examine the creative works. We will commence with Android. In general, Android is commonly purchased from them on Unity for development purposes. 40% of Facebook, which is quite fascinating. Typically, hyper-targeting is costly on Facebook, but evidently, we have successfully reached our intended audience. Purchased Google, gave Apple a try, evaluated its performance.
I believe they have not tried it. They consistently make purchases there, but not a lot.
Less than 1%. Hardly, but if we examine a longer duration, they also possessed an iron resource in this location. However, an event occurred with iron source and they stopped buying it. Facebook is kind of progressing in this manner. You see, the Oplodont is also below 1%. Here, I presume there were tests that were conducted on these walls to verify their integrity and strength. Taking into account the entire period of time, Iron Source held the top position for a certain period, once again in the United States, Brazil, and Italy, demonstrating its consistent dominance. The primary pool is still the United States. It was diluted with grids, and for the purpose of comparison, I also wish to demonstrate input-output. While preparing yesterday and watching such an interesting situation, it's also intriguing for me why Facebook, what they attempted, although you see it wasn't a one-time action. Yes, 41,000 by cards. It's quite a substantial number, not insignificant.
41 million here.
Therefore, it was highly intriguing for me. In the shorter term, considering the recent events, Facebook is still facing leaks, although not on such a massive scale, and managers are actively dealing with and finding solutions for the issue at hand. Principle, not bad, quite interesting.
Could you please show me the total purchase amount for this month? They confirm, yes, on Facebook, the percentage of 82% represents what exactly in terms of quantity or value? 504,000, yes, that is, it informs us that the game exhausts creatives and it is already experiencing burnout. If we are discussing a total of 41 million per year, then yes, over the past month, roughly speaking, 600,000. This simply indicates that the conclusion of this game is already being shortened. Well, that is, the tail of the user is approaching its end.
Absolutely correct. That's why we'll switch to Android. It's more relevant for us and meets our needs in this location. Let's calculate the average value and, for instance, examine one of the top jets, such as the one with the highest performance rating. These are typical gameplay creatives. We integrated and diluted the entire content with text to ensure that it wouldn't be excessively monotonous and uninteresting for the audience. Badges. Not anything supernatural, but nonetheless, their creativity has performed quite well over the previous 3 months, demonstrating their impressive abilities and consistent growth in a remarkable manner. Here, a panel appears at the top. For some reason, it is closed. I don't know if it's cropped or magic, or the editor didn't finish watching.
Let's take a look at another one, maybe, to close this question. Even I understand that he is very similar.
Yes. Well, you see here they added special effects, eliminated handkerchiefs, that is, they collaborate with creatives. Here is a choice, they are completely different creatives, which is also very good. When it comes to the number of impressions, the first and second creatives that I browse have roughly the same number of impressions, approximately equal in quantity. Here's this 30-second one. All this creative without end cards, without call to action, regular gameplay without any additional elements or prompts for engagement, included confetti, included more specificity.
However, if I understand correctly, when we discuss specifically about Facebook, they do not specifically utilize end cards there.
No, static. I'm referring to statics. I'm not referring to interactive end cards. Typically, there is some form of splash screen so that it does not appear as if it has been truncated like this, and there is invariably a play now button or a start button. There is an interactive HTML map present. Regrettably, I am unable to open and view its contents. They are employed, by the way, a total of $3 million was spent on her for the frames. This is a considerable amount. However, video functions more effectively. Therefore, based on this, such games can be purchased. The jokers are stocking up, just like on social networks like Facebook and Pangle, where he somehow slipped through. Mostly these are video networks. Here you need to work well with creatives to reduce CPI, and of course the metrics in the game should be appropriate. Retention has improved thanks to Ilyana, and we have seen an increase in the average number of ad impressions per user, which now stands at 5 to 6. Rewards plus introduction. Have you already seen the content in question?
Yes, I was able to watch, well, approximately 3. There were 3 introductions and some rewards were given out. A bit smaller amount than before.
Raise Retverator to discuss procurement for better conversation on the topic at hand. Do you have any questions, perhaps?
No, however, if it is multiplied by 2, it seems authentic. Just at the moment when I commenced utilizing Google Ads, my economy did not match up at all with the expected outcomes. Somewhere you need to increase income by 5 times so that it all goes to 0.
Friend, do you understand the problem here? The first problem is that India will never converge, well, or almost never.
It's Brazil. Brazil is superior to India. The economy should not converge for the first time in countries.
Brazil is superior to India. It cannot be stated that the economy should conceal itself in either of the 2 countries. Tier 2, Tier 3, it is a matter of luck.
And again, I will add, you yourself said that you were buying and trying to launch a virtual campaign that was running on your texts. Here, without creativity, without video, that is, you simply had no chances of getting on YouTube. Here, on good computers and on good placements, therefore, accordingly, the fact that there was such spending.
Well, it turns out that perhaps it is worth giving it a try to purchase a property on Facebook and see if it yields any favorable results. Despite my attempts with the creator, the CPI was extremely high. However, perhaps this is precisely what defines creativity.
Ilya, you looked at it incorrectly. On Unity, you should make a purchase, not on Facebook.
To begin with, you can give ironSource a try on Unity as a first step.
We see that Unity, ironSource are making purchases there, and on Facebook there is only iOS, which is a completely atypical picture.
Got it, Unity, ironSource.
Hello everyone. So let's start with the title, regarding specifically from the side of ASO optimization. In general, it is filled with 29 characters, which is enough, almost the maximum. As for the screenshots, I don't have any special comments or requests. There are small focal inscriptions. They are interesting to me. Perhaps I might have included additional vibrant images in relation to what you observe that truly depict the essence of the area. But you need to observe how it is done, for instance, by arrival. Thus, you can perceive right here that you can seize this piece. You do not have a lot of space on the actual screenshot. It is filled with some image, some color. From a visual perspective, this is my opinion. All needs testing. The specialist may have a different view, so it's important for testing purposes. Concerning the rating, it is extremely poor because I comprehend that the leader in the specific market has a rating of 3.5, but you have the ability to simply exceed it. So you need to raise your grade by at least 4.5 here. And then it will be easier to buy traffic and the conversion rate will be better about what really here. And in principle, the user will see, even if competitors or they sort the list, look at the rating and you will have more views of your app. Therefore, I would recommend changing. By the way, there is also a comment about the icon. That is, if you observe it, then with this app, it becomes instantly clear and evident that what's the talk about, so to speak. It's tough, but still clear to him that this is more or less a territorial capture. In your case, it is not quite clear what kind of application it will be. The icon in Google Play is extremely important because you don't see screenshots until you go to the app page. So in order to attract users, the icon should be as effective as possible. Here. And accordingly, then you will receive a transition and installation. As for the text part, I will inform you immediately. This theme is entirely unmotivated. I mean the purchase of any sources, because it is precisely the search traffic that is either branded here, everything that is related, for example, in Ansu Udu. Here, or here whole.ai, and so on and so forth. So there are no specific search queries that will generate organic traffic for you. Either you don't have them or there are very few. Either they are very, very, very extensive, so you will have all of the things thrown in the output. This is the first. However, in general, when considering your special optimization from the ASO side, you have a strong overspam on the request paper, which is repeated 21 times. This repetition is too much and should be reduced to 11, especially since you have 2,500 characters available to work with. For the game, the description is sufficient, just remove frequent repetition of this keyword. Everything is written in terms of meaning, and here, well, I must say, there are no particular comments on the text. So basically, these applications live mainly due to the purchase of constant traffic, and they can live due to some collections and due to similar applications. Thanks to this, they can really fly well, and I had cases where the client received 30–35% organic traffic from similar applications. But as soon as he received a low grade or something else, he dropped out of similar applications, and his traffic there dropped by 17% to 15%. Therefore, conversing with these individuals, for me, it is all merely games, completely lacking motivation. Low search traffic here or purely branded, no variety.
The dissimilarity I witnessed between Master Dawn from Voodoo and the Amelia application lies in the fact that there is no video present in the latter. And this is actually very important, as it seemed to me, because I wanted to ask you, what do you think about it?
I just missed it. You are 100% right. These applications, once again, even for purchases, still through video. There are no screenshots or icons there. All these applications attract traffic using precisely such short videos. That is why in this topic, videos are extremely important, not just like captions on screenshots, but videos must have like straight up
With regards to the monetization aspect, I can offer 2 points of information in this regard. Paper and limited liability company are monetized through Max. Essentially, all the main networks exist within that platform. Ilya monetizes through CAS. All the same networks, they all exist. Big DSPs are not connected because of very low traffic. As soon as some traffic appears, DSPs will also be connected.
Here, in this button, there is no thanks. There are also buttons where reward, and at the bottom there is no thanks. You have the option to position an interstitial advertisement at that location. This is the game over screen, and the countdown will go from 5 to 1. You can do it in a way that, after 5 seconds, if the user clicked no thank you, show a reward as a response. That is to include some kind of warning indicating the numbers 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and immediately provide either a reward or a punishment as a response.
Written notes.
This is the same format, sorry for interrupting, the so-called reward interstitial format, which is implemented by default by AdMob. But it is better to show honest rewards than this misunderstanding, precisely because the ECPM, an acronym for effective cost per mille, is very low. And if we display a reward, then it is all fair. Everything is clear and transparent with no room for ambiguity or confusion.
So, in this case, you can give roulette a try instead of the other option. How are you on this application instead of X2, Batten? I hope you are doing well. There is no specific goal in the game, so, okay, we painted the first element, the second, the third. You have the capability to establish a goal and completely paint all 5 elements with precision and attention to detail. And after the 5th, we will give you a chest filled with coins, diamonds, and something rare. This can be placed at the top in the menu here. Bonuses. The nature of their actions is currently unclear. It is uncertain what they are doing at this time. Can you demonstrate a video with a GIF and provide a descriptive explanation? That is the specific request I am making of you. What is the purpose or role of this eye? I'm unable to understand or grasp its function. Additional information on bonuses and the level of attractiveness.
That is, there is a lack of a tutorial on how to work with the bonus. In other words, ideally, you probably need to give a person a bonus for the first time on a scar, so that he wants to use it, and then further he is to offer.
You provide a tutorial at the game's outset, where it can be directly viewed, and you can also demonstrate the benefits it offers by showing bonuses.
That is in this window. All right, let's get moving. Absolutely, excellent observation.
Well, or give a person one bonus and show there and turn it on if it is possible, so that he understands how to use it. It is even better because an individual can truly feel and experience it firsthand.
Yes, the initial bonus as if it's free right from the start. In general, the answer is yes. Why is there a scarcity of advertising? We commence showcasing it exclusively from the 3rd level of the game. In the beginning, we give you the opportunity to play a number of levels without any advertisements, and after that, we begin to show them to you. In my perspective, it was our team that performed the testing. As a result, it experienced a slight improvement, but correspondingly, there is also a reduction in the amount of advertising. Well, maybe. Well, then maybe the rating will be even lower. So the initial level is completed literally in a minute, and we right away start bombarding with interams and other such things and so on and so forth, without any delay or hesitation. So there's nothing there, thank you Inter, such a dam at the finish line. But this is at the 4th level.
Right after the initial stage, make sure to ask for feedback from participants to gather valuable insights.
Following the level, inquire for feedback, and subsequently commence the interpretation process. By the way, which reviews are currently working better? Which ones are slim or which ones are 100?
Slender, slim now, performing better than before, more efficient.
He mentioned that it is not visible properly. There is a lack of normal progression. Even when observing how they are filled, it can be noticed that there is a capture of territory, which is gradually filled with each attempt on the start screen. That is, it is unrelated to the territory inside the level. If you fill in 30% there, you'll get a chest at that spot. If you fill 70%, you'll get the next chest. That is, as if they have a clear goal on this territory. I am uncertain about the precise type of show that is required, but their logic is executed more effectively. You understand that you need to take this territory little by little. You lost there, let's say, captured some amount, lost, and bam, 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 a few percentages filled up 3, 4. Then played again. Another 3, 4% filled up. And every time it brings you back to this screen. And you see a direct progression. It can be felt and transmitted there. Maybe some other story mode there, as Irina's showed. Probably can too. But the main thing is that there are some goals there. Yes, what's the deal with them? When you give a new screen, I would suggest applying it immediately. Well, in terms of giving a button like, yes, apply. That is, when I started playing, they gave me chicken A, and then I need to use something. I need to go somewhere. I even go into these skins. I think they gave me a new skin. I go in, a tab called Common opens for me, but there is nothing there. And it turns out there's chicken in the freezer. Yes, I mean, it's hard to find. It's easier this way, like they gave a skin, there's a use button, applied it. After use, you can also put an advertisement. So, I still have a question. There is a question. I was able to cover 74% of the territory. The game is still not over. Enemies no longer appear, and it seems to me that I'm just doing some nonsense. Painting over the remains. At these levels, it still feels like you want him to automatically capture the remaining ones earlier, yes. Of course, it's cool for them in terms of capturing countries, yes. I mean, I don't know how much it's worth copying directly, but they have an additional meaning embedded in it. My children liked capturing countries. Overall, everything there was interesting. It's cool that you can just pick it up from them right away. First of all, when you capture territory, they lose a percentage. It shows how much territory you captured at once. You just get this percentage, but it doesn't appear anywhere at the moment of recapturing the territory. They have it. It's cool. Here, when you eliminate someone, there's an inscription that says kill. Plus, there is some vibration, and additional coins fly out from the place where you cut off that enemy line. So it gives a little, slightly increases the feeling that you won there. So, here is this cool inscription. Coins that flew right from there at the same moment. La la la. In general, it seems cool. And the vibration is also very well done, honestly speaking. I think the key, of course, is some kind of transformation of story fashion. In this regard, yes, it can give more, the highest percentage of all this. Well, small ones, of course, some things still can increase there, day one by a couple of percent. Who knows anyway?
Indeed, you were correct. Simply eliminate this ambiguous green hue and these insignificant visual imperfections.
I was unlucky, really. I obtained some sort of grayish-green color on the initial cube. I look at him like that. I think he doesn't fit anything at all. It looks somehow gloomy. But then I realized it's random. One unlucky color and I was unlucky. The rest were normal. Several red and yellow ones appeared to be completely normal.
What was the idea to add a small level? There was a hypothesis that there are people who prefer a larger territory. Some see it's a disaster, but it'll take time to paint over the territory. You'll be there for a long time. Others disagree.
That is why Voodoo made progress, so you kind of colored a bit, but you moved forward a bit. So there is no feeling that you are trying senselessly. This is why. They gave meaning to countless tries.
Yes, but you see, when you re-enter the level, nothing is filled in for you. You still have to once more fill in this large area regardless. Yes, gradually fill. Yes, there's a pioneering progress, but reach a new level. Well, it's you.
Motivates yes to complete this level to the end.
Well, yes.
Test hypothesis directly, of course. You can, what exactly progress even in failures. It's cool. Well, I mean, this mechanic works. Yeah, what's there in all these roguelikes? It's very cool. Why not? If possible here, they figured out how to do it. This is an interesting idea. I rarely have games with obvious failures, Here it appears that you can experience frequent losses.
Now, the initial levels have been significantly simplified because we observed that the first level is replayed a total of 5 times, replayed a total of 3 times, and now we have made it so that on average they pass it almost on the first try, and not all.
He says you can, Grandpa. Maybe the key is to provide progression even when the player loses, maybe at a high level that they can't pass, but they will keep playing it because they will see some kind of progression, like now, okay, I will lose 5 times now, and then I will capture that territory there and move somewhere on the map or something like that. Well, hypotheses, of course, I don't know. Okay, that's all.
Zhenya, thank you very much.
Hello, everyone.
Alexander, an excellent specialist in game design. Please let me know your thoughts on this.
So, Ilya, hi. Pleasure to meet you. I will send it to you at a later time.
Excellent. So I don't have to type everything urgently now.
I've done all for you, printed all. You just need to listen now, then read. Let's go. The first step. When I first open the app, I don't go straight to the gameplay. Instead, I somehow end up on some meta screen. I understand that it's done that way at Voodoo, but let's not pay attention to them. They can basically allow you anything. I recommend analyzing this funnel step. If there's a 7 to 8% dropout rate, exclude it and launch the player into gameplay right away. This will help improve user experience and retention. If there are 2-3% rejects, these are normal rejects, so we don't take action at this step. Step 2. There are numerous skip tutor images available in this location. Therefore, I would actually examine Voodoo instead. Guys, it's clear. There is Paper.io. There is Paper.io 2. Some of the audience has moved there. Some already know how to play these games, but to the best of my recollection, I had to touch approximately 6 to 7 certain photographs. To me, they were unclear, small, lagged, and I didn't understand what was happening there at all. It was quite puzzling and frustrating for me. It's important, everything I say is subjective. So, to understand what's happening there, it's necessary to also look at the dumps there, and if there are any dumps there, I don't know, 7, 8, even 6, 5, also eliminate this step. Well, from the starting point to the last skip point, on this interval 2-3%, it's also normal, and in general, you can do nothing about it. Next, management. There is a definite and undeniable feeling that we have 2 major problems. The first one is the problem of perfection. I took it for testing. Well, it is not really old. It is a Redmi Note from the 21st year. There, I think it has 4 or 5 GB of memory. It's a decent phone overall, but I'm uncertain if it's the best choice for me. There is a feeling that periodically, even on this device, and this is generally an average power device Android, periodically there is a drop in FPS. Well, it goes down to around 20 probably. And this periodicity per round, it can be there, I don't know, 3 to 4 or 5 times. That is the question of optimization. The greater the number of FAPs we have, the higher the quality of our game will be. I don't know. The larger the number of low-end devices we can roll it all out on. Understandably, ads will be calculated differently. I mean, money and eCPMs will be different on these devices, but still it's a whole park, a whole audience. And especially if we are talking about scaling in the States, there the user, well, he is much more demanding, right? And if he fakes multiple times, well, unlike, I am not aware of the correct way to say it, a schoolboy from a post-Soviet or CIS country, this individual will probably succeed. Next, self-management. Is there a feeling? Am I right in understanding that there is a square? This cube, yes, it rotates around its axis somehow, right?
Yes, where with your fingers.
The biggest moment, or more precisely, the biggest problems in the following. I lead here to the right, then I try somehow to the left. It doesn't react. We need to enhance the control, make it more similar to, I do not have any idea, tactile, sensitive. Perhaps it will not be such a rotation around its axis. Perhaps it will be similar to Tanechka's rotation. In any case, I would conduct experiments with management. And well, I would also include experiments with FEPs. In my understanding, these are 2 very important points, because when playing paper and playing this game, I feel completely different in these 2 aspects. This is of great importance. Furthermore, it is crucial. Eugene's passionate moments, unclear victory conditions, generally incomprehensible. What is currently happening to me? So, there I even sent screenshots as evidence. So in the first few races, I fill in almost the entire map. There are 75%. I have none. There all my enemies are dead, yes. However, for some inexplicable reason, I continue to play. I mean, I need to find a way to dynamically, approach this story somehow. First, if I kill all the enemies there and cover N% of the map, I win. There is no need to defeat me at 80, 90, or 100%. It is unnecessary. And here is precisely this moment of such a profound boredom. As a player, I got extremely bored after 3-4 races. And most likely this is very negative. Affects all playtimes, and this greatly increases the black raid. Again, these are all my assumptions. To see what and how, we can only through analytics. If we see dumps there, well, such decent ones, as I said, then one of the hypotheses why dumps occur is this hypothesis. If there's waste, it'll need processing. Something will need to be done. Next, tutorial finger at level. So you position this tutorial finger on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions every time. Like, and why? I've seen him twice, I know how to play. In the future, this tutorial finger is just an irritant for me, well, with this animation. And this can also result in an increase in the overall churn rate, which can have negative implications for the business. Moving on, dealing with bugs, I encountered a challenging level where I found myself alone with only 75% of it filled.
I drove back and forth. I see 68. I think, damn, cool, but why? Then Z fighting started.
What is Z fighting known in computer graphics?
Yes. Glitching started there. Yes, something is there.
So, I also receive a blurry picture there on the 3rd level. I receive some bugs with these lands. The percentage jumps back and forth. And I am like, what the hell is happening? I cannot make sense of it. And it is really frustrating. Next.
Sad.
Accelerator. I don't get why he's needed. Well, not like that. In theory, it is a cool thing, but I do not like the moment when I pick it up. What do I mean? Here I have 70% of the area painted, no enemies, and picked up an accelerator, but for what? It would be good to have an accelerator there, probably there. Even, I don't know, you would run up and watch the interstitial, not the reward, interstitial. Picked up this accelerator, you run, you jump. The idea of acceleration and console level, it's cool. Well, you know what I mean, right?
Yes.
I do not know. Select some extra booster accelerator. Your cube will become extremely larger, and you will have the capacity to collect a greater number of coins. Well, all this can be different. Another very important point is speed and dynamics. There is a clear feeling that you made the game slower. You wanted to make it smoother, but you made it slower in terms of speeds. And from this, it gets more boring. Subjectively, in my understanding. What's dynamics? Dynamics is more opportunities for the player as a maneuver. You came there, kicked someone, like, wow, did some cool trick here, 1, 2nd, 5th, 10th, that's it, you're awesome. But at the same time, as a player, well, because everything is quite fast, an extra chance or an extra opportunity to make a mistake is created. When you, as a player, make a mistake, the chance that you, will continue your life for a reward increases. By giving the player the opportunity, not that the developers are idiots and he loses because of us, but we deliberately give the player the opportunity to make a mistake to increase the chance of conversion in the form of reward video. There is a suggestion, thought, recommendation to still conduct a test. Well, for rolls there is a 50-50 chance, considering the current speed and the possibility of a higher speed. Here, as for the rest, I did not consider any additional monetization things there, some global ones or something else, because in my understanding, all this should happen when these main global problems are fixed. Well,
thanks a bunch. I really appreciate it. Please, if you don't mind.
All right, Ilya, in case you have any inquiries, feel free to go ahead and ask them.
Well, I have a question. Look, we are already, quite occupied with this project. It is keeping us very busy. Does he have a chance, in your opinion, or in the guy's opinion, does he have a chance? Is it worth spending more effort and resources on him and so on? Because at this moment, it appears that everything has been lost. Everything is in a very bad state, and the guarantee is extremely weak. And it appears that this is an objective that is seemingly unattainable. All of this is in relation to the purchase of the case and other associated matters and so on and so forth and whatnot.
Well, Sasha, I'd like to hear your opinion first, and then I'll share mine with you.
Please answer this question. What is the product of 50 and 50?
Either he will shoot or he won't shoot. That is the first point.
Second, what is your goal in releasing or launching this product? Well, if your goal and task is to earn money for Kamaz, then definitely the answer is no. However, if your task and goal is to integrate Kaz and go through all the stages of filling, procurement, and some minimal basic operation, then it is definitely worth moving forward and pursuing it. It's important to understand that maybe the project will need to be buried. This is a crucial process in the life of anyone, I don't know, a game designer, a manager, a producer, anyone. In any case, you are this child that you work on. You'll then, like in the third Witcher, take it and bury this gosh.
Can I add? Well, just still here. Do you know what question? What if this is the best of all the projects you've tried to do, in your opinion? Then it's worth continuing? Well then, yes, it's worth continuing. And if you think he has other ones, maybe it's worth analyzing them. There are better indicators, better metrics.
In terms of metrics, overall, most likely, yes, it ended up being quite successful. However, I am extremely concerned that the process of monetization has become significantly worse. Here I have these coloring books. There the metrics are worse, there the retention is worse, everything is worse. But the monetization there is already such that overall, well, everything looks pretty good.
You have another option to attempt here naturally and to discard the past, so most likely, yes.
Ilya, look, if you have a task to earn 20, 30,000 even per month on this project, it seems unreal to me. And if we talk about 4, 5,000, 2, 3,000, then this figure is quite adequate. But based on the conditionally backlog that the guys passed on, the costs of testing all this implementation are 3, 4,000. Additionally, pouring traffic for $100 per hypothesis and analyzing the result will provide valuable insights to make informed decisions about the next steps to take in this project. Thus, I am of the opinion that it is worthwhile to engage in playing such a game of chance like roulette.
Possibly something resembling or akin to that. Yes, thank you. Generally, I don't have much else to say. Well, I can demonstrate a funnel categorized by level. The funnel in this scenario is simple, like a start-finish line. Thus, it becomes evident that this is our initial stage of progression. This is his finish.
Wait, you see, here is the initial dump, and you currently have a percentage of 85. You are experiencing a 15% decline, apparently? Yes, that is precisely what Sasha was referring to during the conversation.
Tutters, wow. And here it transpires to be 84% to the finisher.
So yet another 15 are dropping off from the previous one, making a total of 30.
It turns out that it is the end of the finish line, with a total of 71 participants.
As it turns out, you actually lose 30% of the users within the initial minute of the game. And this indicator is entirely non-existent. Let's contemplate these steps that we previously discussed.
Start level is quiet until morning. So we start the level, immediately this event is sent, then the tutorial is shown.
However, you see, even prior to the commencement, you have already dropped 15.
And inside with these tutors, another 15.
That this coefficient of dumping is nearly the largest among all levels of comparison. Next, you have 80.
Yes, that is additionally the initiation of level 2, and the culmination is level 2, finish 3.
I know you still have ads at the end of the third, correct?
No, still no ads here. In the first, second, third, no ads. Here will be an ad, but for instance, it goes to the finish, and subsequently, the advertisement appears.
And here we already have a problem. Here is some colossal dump.
Perhaps this is already the 4th level, and it is becoming more difficult. Just had a hypothesis that it's too complicated. I had earlier versions where the finish was even smaller, and it was more difficult there. So there, as it turns out, there were like goths who were really angry at us, you know. Here they don't get aggressive at all, they just ride around there and that's it. There was a moment when we were coloring the territory, and they became more and more aggressive, shy. We severed this moment and departed, reserving it for a subsequent moment. It appears that our strategy was successful.
Do you have any levels that are relatively easy to pass or complete? As an illustration, here is the final outcome with a percentage of 89.
In total, the percentage of dropped items decreased by 10%.
And even better, there, 5% loss, percentage loss.
Honestly, I have not watched this. There are certainly no high levels because they are excessively unhealthy. And these small ones over time, they gradually become more challenging, but there are not as many of them as before.
For the sake of curiosity, let's swap level 2 and level 1. Look, if you see at level 2 not 10.5 but 15, then you will clearly understand that the guilty one is here. And there you will see not 15 but 10, so you will clearly understand who is guilty here. You perform the cleaning on the tutor and have already achieved a savings of 5%.
Okay, I suppose we will conclude here. I will once again kindly request viewers to subscribe, share, and like our content. All of those things.